Hello, good evening. Welcome to ITV News. This is Wednesday night's calendar.
Thank you for joining us. Here are tonight's main stories.
Family battle, a grandfather's warning to other men after he was diagnosed with breast cancer twice.
There isn't an awareness for men. It's all for ladies. Men have to be aware that they can get breast cancer.
Dangerous road ahead after a surge in accidents in our region. Is it finally time for e-bike riders to be licensed?
Ruffling feathers, villagers call foul play as this pair of popular geese face eviction from their pond.
I've been here 25 years and there's always been ducks, no hens, everything on this pond. Why now get rid of them?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 1930.
And God's own film set. Can you spot the Yorkshire landmarks in the latest and final Downton Abbey movie?
First tonight, a grandfather who has had breast cancer twice says he may not have survived if his daughter hadn't noticed the symptoms.
Peter Firth, who's 79 and from Bridlington, went on to have a double mastectomy.
Although breast cancer in men is rare, with about 400 men being diagnosed in Britain a year, Cancer Research UK says over the last decade, while breast cancer mortality rates in women have fallen by a sixth, in men, it has remained stable.
Well, Peter says it's crucial more men are aware so they can look out for the signs themselves. Vicky Smith reports.
Ringing the bell after his first round of treatment for breast cancer was not something Peter imagined would happen to him. Spending his life and career at sea, then in 2016, he noticed itching and his daughter spotted symptoms. Without her, he's not sure he'd even be here.
I never noticed that my nipple had inverted, but Rachel did, and that's when it all kicked off. It was going through my body. If I'd left it, it could have been too late.
Before this happened to you, did you know that men could get breast cancer?
I haven't a clue, because there isn't an awareness for men. It's all for ladies. And we have to get out to that situation where, men have to be aware that they can get breast cancer.
Both Peter and his daughter Rachel are thankful for his treatment, but think changes could be made. They say following his mastectomy, he wasn't offered an augmentation, and that in several hospitals, they didn't see any literature for men.
When he went to an appointment and they were looking at me and saying, "Oh, you're here for your appointment," why hadn't they looked down the list and seen that there was a man's name there, and then they would have known who was in that day, and oh, there's a man today, oh, let's have a look how we should. If there isn't a standard operation procedure, then why isn't there?
The majority of people being referred to a breast clinic will be a woman, so for a man to go along for an assessment, it can feel quite isolating because they might be the only man that's there being seen.
As well as raising awareness, Peter has also been raising money, taking on a charity skydive in February, just over a year since being diagnosed for a second time and having surgery to remove his right breast. Peter and his family say he's doing well and are feeling positive heading into the future. Now, after supporting one another the past few years, they're looking to see what they can change together for other men with breast cancer. Vicky Smith, ITV News, Bridlington.
Well, some important advice from Peter there, and we're very grateful to him for talking to us, of course, and wish him all the very best for the future. Now, more of the day's news, and a woman has appeared in court charged with murdering her 3-year-old daughter. Police found the body of Hope McGrath at an address in Osthorpe Court, believing she was killed between the 26th and 30th of July. 47-year-old Pippa McGrath didn't enter a plea when she appeared before magistrates today and is due to appear at Leeds Crown Court tomorrow.
Two men in their 20s have appeared in court charged with murder and violent disorder following the death of a teenager in Bradford. 19-year-old Mohammed Junaid Khan was killed on Newton Street on the 6th of June after a fight reportedly broke out outside a shop. Hamza Rayman and Lukman Rayman, both of Birch Lane in Bradford, were remanded in custody for a hearing at Bradford Crown Court in November.
Plans for a solar farm the size of more than 150 football pitches could be built alongside another similar development in North Lincolnshire. The site is currently a mix of agricultural use and home to some of the wind turbines that form part of SSE's Keadby Wind Farm, England's largest onshore wind farm. The latest planned development would be known as Moore's Solar Farm. It follows the proposal of another on land between Eland and Keadby, and if both are approved, there would be just over 200 metres between them. Now to a story that's just got residents in a flap in a small village in North Yorkshire. Two much-loved local geese are set to be evicted from their pond after a local parish council decided they were a threat to road safety.
Well, to say it's ruffled a few feathers is an understatement. Many residents are livid and they've launched a campaign to keep the birds exactly where they are. Well, Adam Fowler is in Stillingfleet, about 10 miles north of York. Adam, there's lots of upset residents there, aren't there?
Lots of upset residents, but a couple of very happy and very friendly geese that you can see behind me. They're actually an item, and believe it or not, geese mate for life, and they're monogamous. So this is a love story as much as anything else, but will their domestic bliss continue here or elsewhere? Well, that's the question. Many residents are furious about the plans to potentially evict them, but like birds of a feather, they've flocked together to try and save them. I met a few of them earlier on. Going for a dip in Townend Pond. Other than the low water level, life is pretty sweet for this Chinese goose and his mate, known locally as Loosey Goosey. But there may be choppy waters ahead, because Stillington Parish Council's decided they should be returned to their owners or moved to another pond altogether, in the interests of road safety.
It's a disgrace. I have been here 25 years and there's always been ducks, moorhens, everything on this pond. Why now get rid of them and say it's the road, which it isn't the road?
Such is the uproar that a campaign has been organised to save the birds from eviction, with more than 1,000 people signing a petition to keep them here. That's more than the actual population of the village.
It would just be devastating, really. You know, they cause nobody any problem, but yet they're good with everybody, with children, with mental health, just as a little sanctuary to come to. They're part of the village, our little love story, and yeah, it'd just be, I just don't know.
Lucy's lived here happily for around 2 years, and residents even put a green mesh around the fence to keep the birds from slipping through onto the high street. But if the parish council has its way, they'll be hitting the road regardless. Well, we would have loved to have interviewed somebody from the council making that decision, but sadly they declined our invitation. Instead, they told us it was agreed that in the interests of road safety, the geese would be offered back to their owners, and if they do not wish to take them back, they would be rehomed together once a suitable pond was found. Well, there's a parish council meeting tonight. You can be sure it's going to be a lively one, with many residents heading down there to make their voices heard and make it clear that they think this decision is for the birds.
Brilliant, thanks very much, Adam. Good. Not often you get Goosey Lucy or Lucy Goosey on the programme.
We'll keep you updated with what happens to Goosey Lucy
Certainly,
as well.
Now that you are watching Wednesday's calendar with Lisa Adlam and Ian White, and still to come on the programme tonight. Home from Home. Actor Jim Carter tells us how filming the latest Downton Abbey movie in Harrogate brought back childhood memories.
And the weather's definitely packing more of a punch this week after the record-breaking summer. Definitely blustery and showery for Blossom over the last few days. I'll have the forecast for the next few days a little later on.
Well, next tonight, there are growing calls for riders of battery-powered bicycles to carry licences and register their vehicles as fears rise over the risk they pose compared to ordinary bikes.
A petition demanding tougher restrictions has reached more than 50,000 signatures, but sustainable transport campaigners say it is unnecessary and will put many responsible riders off using them, harming efforts to reduce car use. Nick Smith reports.
E-bikes are now a common sight in our towns and cities, but incidents with other traffic and pedestrians are on the rise, with government data showing over 11,000 reports just last year. Christine White has been campaigning for stricter e-bike laws since her elderly father James died due to complications after being hit by an e-bike 2 years ago. The bike collided with the 91-year-old veteran whilst he was on the pavement, barely metres from his home.
When ridden sensibly and safely, I think e-bikes are a great mode of transport. The problem is so many people abuse this transport now, because at the moment any person of 14 and over can hop on a bike and off they go. They don't need any previous experience. Whereas personally I would equate an e-bike with a 50cc moped. The only difference is that one's electrically driven and one's got fuel in it. Yet the moped has to have training, tax, insurance, and doesn't ride on pavements. People are dying as a result of these bikes, and unless there's more regulation, they ride around with impunity.
To be used legally on public roads, an e-bike's top speed without pedalling shouldn't exceed 15.5 miles an hour, but increasing numbers are being seized, which have top speeds in excess of 40 miles an hour. People we spoke to in Sheffield say they've become a concern and more rules should be considered.
I'd love to be able to separate cars and cyclists and different lanes. If you did that, then I think the problem would disappear.
I'm really surprised that there isn't more sort of restrictions on them or anything like that. It does sort of feel like anybody can just go on them.
They can be quite dangerous, and the way that some people sort of scoot around them around town is, it's definitely a danger to others.
Pro-cycling campaign groups say incidents involving legal e-bikes are conflated with the rising problem of illegally modified bikes.
We don't need a stricter licensing scheme in respect of e-bikes. What we need is actually the application and enforcement of the existing scheme. What we have is legal e-bikes are a machine where there's a power assist which cuts off 15.5 miles per hour. It's not a fast vehicle. What we hear about in the news all the time is illegal machines which are not e-bikes. It's actually an electric motorbike, and they're being marketed as electric bicycles, and that's something that needs to be cracked down on.
A government spokesperson told us it is bringing in new powers for police forces, allowing them to instantly seize e-bikes being used anti-socially. However, there are no plans to introduce a bespoke licensing scheme. So for those who've suffered tragedy at their misuse, they will keep pushing for riders to be more accountable, with better training and stricter rules. Nick Smith, ITV News.
Yes, I wonder what you think about that story. I'm sure you will let us know. Now, as the season changes and it starts to get a bit chilly, many of us will be thinking about warmer climates and booking a holiday for next year. But for 2/3 of families that have accessibility requirements, a summer holiday won't be on the cards.
Well, that's according to a new study that also found nearly half of disabled people actively avoid going abroad due to accessibility concerns, especially when it comes to airports and hotels. Amrit Birdie's been finding out more.
Most of us count down the days until our next holiday. But for Liz Kieran from Sheffield, her wheelchair means it's just not that simple.
Flying's been quite difficult, I found, especially with the model of wheelchair that I've got. You have to contact the airline, explain your make, your model, your battery type, the weight of it. You've got to think that disabilities vastly different from one person's perspective to another. What would suit me would not suit somebody else. I think as somebody that would have enjoyed exploring the world, it really does put me off because of my experiences.
A recent survey of 1,200 individuals and families with at least one person with accessibility needs found almost 2/3 may not travel abroad this summer. Nearly half said they'd avoided going abroad over the past year due to accessibility concerns. And more than 2/3 agree that booking travel for people with access needs is a major barrier. The research was commissioned by accessibility technology company Transreport, and they say it isn't just disabled people who are missing out.
We know that within the aviation and hospitality industry that businesses lose $2 billion a month by ignoring the needs of disabled people. And when we think that 1 in 4 people identify as disabled within the UK, and actually many more people that do not choose to identify with that word but indeed have access needs, there is a huge opportunity for increasing revenue.
Professor David Ross and his wife Karen have enjoyed many holidays abroad over the years, but not without challenges. Now they're sharing their learning and top tips in articles online to help other disabled travellers.
Your average traveller probably thinks a couple of months before, oh, I'd really like to go there. I mean, for a traveller with additional needs, that could take months of preparation. The most important thing before you even get on that plane or boat or whatever is to make sure you've got insurance to cover you for that trip, particularly if you're going outside Europe.
If you're flying, see what the airline provides, what support they will give you. A lot of that is online now, it's freely available. Just researching wherever you're going beforehand, making sure that you've got all the things you might need, try and explain exactly what your needs are. It's really important.
David and Karen say more needs to be done to make holidays accessible for everyone, so fewer are missing out on the joy of travel. Amrit Birdie, ITV News.
Well, the ITV evening news continues at 6:30 after calendar. Here's a look at what's happening with Lucrezia Millerini.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, the Deputy Prime Minister admits she didn't pay enough stamp duty on her second home. Angela Rayner says she has considered resigning, but hasn't yet. What will the PM do? Also, should police be policing culture war debates? The boss of the Met says no after the arrest of Father Ted co-creator Graham Linehan. Why children could soon be banned from buying energy drinks. And are we farewelling Downton Abbey? Join us at the premiere of the hit show's third film. Those stories and more at 6:30.
Thank you, Lucrezia. And you keep watching us, and we've got some more on that film coming up just in a moment. But first, it's time for some sport. And as we know, or as we like to think, Sheffield is the boxing capital of the country. It's been home to many world champions down the years. But did you also know that it's the home of the Olympic boxing programme?
Yes, GB Boxing is based in Sheffield's English Institute of Sport, and tomorrow the best amateur boxers from across the country will compete at the World Championships in Liverpool. Amongst them, 2 from our region. Chris Dawkes has been to meet them.
They might look pretty tough, but this coming week, these boxers will get the chance to prove just how good they really are. These are the 16 men and women chosen to represent Team GB at the World Championships in Liverpool. Amongst them, Alice Pumphrey from Dewsbury and Tegan Stott from Sheffield.
I've already proved my level, but now it's time to do it at the world level. Like I say, I won the under-22 Europeans late last year, so I feel like I'm well up there in the rankings to come away with gold. I back myself highly.
Alice only joined the senior GB programme here at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield 6 months ago. She was a footballer with Manchester United in her youth, but it's her fists rather than her feet that now do the talking.
I was playing football for Man United, and then I wanted to do some extra fitness, and I was like, oh, let's try boxing. So I went to a boxing gym, and after the first week I did 3 sessions, and I said to my dad at the time, I don't want to play football anymore, I want to box. And he was like, what? I don't want to play football, but nah, he loved the boxing.
Now, we may be in the heart of the Steel City, but this place here is a real bronze, silver and gold factory. You only have to look at the pictures on the walls to see the calibre of boxer who progressed through the ranks here at the English Institute of Sport.
Every time you train in here, you're always glancing up at the walls, looking around. It gives you that little extra push, seeing everyone else that have been here, done it, and we're hoping we're going to do it next.
And who knows, one day they themselves could be the inspiration. Chris Dawkes, ITV News, Sheffield.
Yes, good luck to them. Now, it's been watched by millions of loyal fans around the globe. No, I'm not talking about Canada. I'm talking about Downton Abbey, although the award-winning period drama does have links to our part of the world.
It does. Wentworth Woodhouse and Harewood House have both been backdrops for Downton, which of course began life as a TV series before turning to the big screen. Now, Ripon Racecourse and the Great Yorkshire Showground feature in the upcoming third and final movie, and as Natalie Bohr's been
in finding out their places, which brought back fond memories for at least one cast member.
It's hard to accept that it's time to go. Your friendship has never been more important to all of us. But the future of Downton Abbey is now in Mary's hands.
What was it like knowing you were filming your final scenes?
Actually, it was quite poignant when I think about it. I mean, I didn't break down, but I did feel slightly sad that I was going to finally hang up Mrs. Hughes' keys for one last time. We had prepared ourselves.
Yeah.
And so we pulled on our big girls' pants. Even you did, James.
I pulled on your big girls' pants. I remember it was a mistake that I regret.
Can you take them off now? No, not now. Carson is preparing to say goodbye to Downton Abbey in the movie, as were you. What are you going to miss most?
I'm going to miss the pleasure that it brought to people, really. I mean, that's been fantastic, you know, because every interaction we have with people who've watched it, it's always been positive.
Mm-hmm.
People love it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just nice to bring that amount of pleasure to people. And was there anybody in the cast I'll miss? Phyllis Logan, my enchanted one. Yes, of course, I shall miss her, he said, unprompted.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 1930.
The Great Yorkshire Showground was chosen for the county fair scenes. Dozens of supporting artists were drafted in for the filming, with the wardrobe department fitting nearly 500 costumes for those scenes alone.
It was great, wasn't it?
Well, it's fantastic for me. It was 300 yards from where I was born. You know, I mean, it was. I could walk there in 4 minutes from my house. You know, that I was brought up in. So it was very nostalgic for me. I loved being back there.
Nice.
My God, and to have it empty, you know, just set up for us was fabulous. And sitting, looking at the fields that I used to run in and sort of chase sticklebacks in the stream and stuff like that. Sticklebacks, we'll go into that. It's something that happened in the 1950s.
But also we were all there, which
Yeah.
is quite unusual.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole gang of us were staying there.
It looked lovely, so it was
Yeah.
beautiful to step onto and step into, because you're literally stepping into the world in a way that, you know, when you're filming in one, like in a studio in one room, it's not the same effect, you know. So it was a real treat. It was amazing how they put that together.
What was it like filming without the late Dame Maggie Smith?
We missed her.
We did.
You never thought to turn it down?
Do I look as if I'd turned down a villa in the south of France?
She was Maggie Smith and Violet were the head of the family sort of thing, the acting family and the fictional family, and so we missed her. So her presence was there, and it felt like it was a sort of a subliminal tribute to her. And then we see at the end of the film that she's actually there with us the whole time, and that's very fitting, I think.
Yeah.
Kevin, your character is adjusting to life as a screenwriter in the movie. I think you're going to get a lot of laughs. Did you struggle to keep a straight face at any point?
No, because the thing about Maudsley is he doesn't realise he's a comic character. You know, it's all very serious. So that wasn't difficult at all. He's got this money. Finally, he's got some money, and he wants to sort of spend it. And he buys his beautiful car, but he can't drive it. I just love the idea of him being absolutely terrified every time he gets into it.
You should have seen Penelope's face when she came out of the car.
Yes,
oh, mate.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, you will see it.
Well, I look forward to seeing it.
Downton Abbey, the grand finale, is in cinemas from September the 12th.
Long live Downton Abbey. Amen to that.
Natalie Bohr, ITV News.
Oh, love a bit of Downton.
Do you?
It's like TV comfort food, isn't it?
Yeah, love it.
I like a regular weather forecast from our Kerry.
Yes,
That
it
keeps
is.
me
What you might not have liked is if you were out earlier on today, because it was really kicking off. We've got some amazing footage from our camera operator, Colin. He was out in Wirlow in South Yorkshire, and it looks pretty cool there. He basically got a window between 2:30 and 3:30 this afternoon, I think, where you could see the blue sky and the sunshine. But I popped Wirlow there on the map, and basically either side we've had these showers developing in lines and pushing
north and eastwards, and they have been heavy and thundery, and if you were under them you would certainly know about it. We've had a few shots. This was from Ashover in Derbyshire. A big thank you to Stuart Slynn and also to Sandy. You can definitely see those showers bubbling up over the Pennines West Nab in the Hope Valley. So as we head through into tomorrow, we've got another weather warning out. We've got one out till 8 o'clock this evening. Tomorrow from 2 a.m. until 5 p.m. Yes, the increased risk of thunderstorms, thunder, lightning, large hail, strong gusty winds, and as the winds ease, we'll start to see those rainfall totals add up. So it's definitely going to feel a lot more autumnal. I told you way before the beginning of this week, but now it's official that summer 2025 is the warmest on record for daytime, mean temperatures, that's day and night, and also on night, all counties were warmest on record. Only half the amount of rainfall and the driest period January to July spell since 1929. Here is your forecast.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, our skies definitely livelier out there today than they were yesterday, where we had a little bit more in the way of sunshine. But yes, starting to look really mean by this afternoon, and those showers forming in bands, heavy and thundery, pushing north and eastwards. Another little low feature coming through as we head through into tomorrow and spiralling around that, showers or longer spells of rain. And then we have a brief respite with high pressure building to the southeast for Friday and especially Saturday. But by Sunday, low pressure takes charge again from the west. A warm and wet day for the second half of the weekend. In the meantime, for this evening, still some heavy showers out there for a time, but it does ease as the night wears on and becomes a little drier and clearer, and therefore a tiny bit cooler than last night, just about in double figures perhaps for towns and cities, but still the risk of some low cloud, thicker cloud and one or two showers pushing in from the west even into the early hours. 6:19 and 7:50 are your sun times. For most of us tomorrow, a dry and relatively bright start, but then that system pushes up from the south and then spirals round. Showers merge to longer spells of rain. Some really heavy downpours expected. Yes, thunder and lightning, blustery gusty winds, feeling cooler with the lack of sunshine, and we are looking at higher rainfall totals certainly by the afternoon with some difficult driving conditions. It is looking better for Friday. It will be calmer, the winds will be lighter, drier and brighter, just with an occasional shower, but mostly dry, and therefore it will feel nicer in the sunny spells, 19 or 20. Saturday is our day, bright and breezy, feeling warmer, and then warmer but wetter on Sunday.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
There you go. And Shelley sent this from earlier on today. Soggy doggies. We've not had them for ages. Probably don't know what a puddle is.
No,
anyway.
Probably forgotten.
Yeah, a few more tomorrow for sure.
Good to see some rain. That's it from us. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow night at 6. From us all, a very good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.